From Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Why are you a conspiracy theorist? And I said, why isn't everybody a goddamn conspiracy theorist?
This is the real research. Literally have an alien base, and they are literally communicating.
I don't have a whole lot of time.
Have you personally had any experience with interdimensional beings?
What we're thinking of as aliens, they have infiltrated a lot of aspects of military intelligence. And they are not what they claim to be.
We leave you much that is undone.
That's one small step for man.
There are great ideas undiscovered.
Visit asteroids, visit the moon of Mars.
Remove one of truth's protective layers.
There's a monolith.
They want the major population centers wiped out.
Will you put your left hand on the Bible and swear to God that you walked on the moon?
One giant leap for mankind.
Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened.
Those challenges are yours.
We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society.
There are places to go beyond belief. Beyond belief.
Hello, welcome to the Daily Conspiracy Podcast. We don't take days off because reptilians don't take days off. And it's my great pleasure to welcome back to the podcast. And I think you're the first, and essentially you've just invented it as well, the first Triple Crown guest, because you've done a podcast with me on Must See Audio, with us on Alien Addict, and now on the Daily Conspiracy Podcast. Billy Ray Valentine, welcome to the show.
You know, it's an honor to be the first Triple Crown guest of this show. Yeah, I'm a massive wrestling fan, as you know.
Yep.
Like you and I are, and I feel like I've just been crowned with the New Japan Triple Crown, the All Japan Triple Crown, I should say. Right. I always thought that was dope because they got to walk around with 3 belts. Yeah, man, that's so cool. You know. So yes, me, BRV, the first Triple Crown champion. I love it. Very nice.
Have to work on a belt for you or something like that.
Well, you might agree with Lee's Mandela effect then, Billy.
Tell me.
Because I don't know anything about wrestling, but he told me this the other day on the show, and I'm like, okay, I'll go with it.
Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig.
Yeah.
His name's Kurt Hennig.
Kurt Hennig?
No.
This is a win already.
Let me bring this up because this has broken my mind, Billy.
All right. Maybe it's a pronunciation thing? I mean, because I remember, he's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time.
Same here.
And his son was, they changed his name. It was something else. I forgot. It wasn't
Curtis Axel.
Curtis Axel. He was awful. Oh, my God.
He was.
Yeah, he was really bad. God bless him.
There you go.
Go ahead. Let me see.
Kurt Hennig.
Blow it up for a blind guy, please.
So what really got me with this was we need the title, like a walk-in.
Just put images. It should bring plenty up. No, just click on the images, Lee. Click on the images.
Yeah, no, I want a particular one.
Oh, okay. We kind of should prepared this, but it's just when Billy brought wrestling, then I'm like, you got to show Billy this.
It was on the fly.
See, I'm none the wiser to this.
Oh,
none the wiser.
So I remember his name being spelled like that, right? What am I?
See, I remember it as Kurt Hennig,
right?
With an ing. Here, let me get rid of that because
it was Kurt Hennig, right?
This is what really got me with it was because I was the same. He was one of my favorite wrestlers as well. And when I saw that title, like the flashcard that comes up, that just doesn't even look right to me.
It looks right to me.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah, it does.
Maybe we're not part of the same timeline. Maybe it is, or maybe it is a misremembering.
I was about to say, man, you say reptilians don't take days off, and I take days off all the time. So maybe we are from a different timeline. I'm disclosing that I am a reptilian at this moment. No, I know people that knew him, so I will ask how the correct pronunciation for this. But I remembered being Kurt Hennig. And it looked like that to me, but I will ask them and I'll relay back to you.
Excellent.
We'll see what happens here. Anyway.
Do you have a Mandela effect that did get you?
Oh, yeah, man. Also wrestling related. I did a show with Strangler Steve King, who used to be a WWE superstar back in the 90s, and another one of my good friends, the Andrew Bello. We covered Monday Night Raw for years, and it was dreadful. It was like the worst thing I ever had to do because we had to watch Raw, and it was the most horrible show on television. So I used to we used to talk a bunch of nonsense in the beginning about whatever, just not to get to Monday Night Raw, or I would talk like wrestling gossip. I would start covering the Bellas and their show and stuff like that. Like, anything not to get to actual Raw. But when it was time to get to Raw, I would give everybody a 5-second warning. I tell them, you got 5 seconds. You've been forewarned. We're going to start talking about Raw. I don't want you to blame me. We have 5 seconds to turn the channel to go somewhere else. And I would play a sound. I would say it first. I would say, "Run, you fools!" Like Lord of the Rings, right? Like what Gandalf told everybody else when that big monster came after them. They were like, "Should we say like, run, you fools?" So I was like, "Run, you fools! We're going to start covering Monday Night Raw." And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and boom. And then we would start covering Monday Night Raw. So I figured it'd be a good idea to get the actual soundbite, for it. And that way I wouldn't have to say it anymore. And when I looked it up, I couldn't find it because it's fly, you fools, not run, you fools.
No.
And fly, you fools makes no sense. I'm like, what do you mean fly, you fools? I'm like, I saw that movie. I've been saying this for years. Run, you fools. Run. It's not. It's fly, you fools. If you want to verify it right now, go right ahead. I hope I've shifted back into the right timeline, but I got people. I've got people that can verify that this happened while we were doing that show, and I could not find the clip. It was fly, you fools.
I mean,
Ali is like, what the hell is going on here?
It's CERN. It's CERN. I always said I've been concerned about CERN, and they've done this. They've messed with the timeline. We now live in a completely different dimension.
Yeah.
Lee may have been wrong about Hennig. I don't know.
We might. I mean, I don't know. Like I remember when I was introduced to the Mandela effect, and it was SMQAI. I remember his theory, and he was the one that popularized it because he said that, and it was just a theory that he came up with. At the time, he was going with it as if it was a real thing, but later he was just like, I just came up with it. I don't have anything to back it up. But he was like, we all died in 2012. And I remember interviewing him. We became friends, actually. I should hit him up. I haven't hit him up in years. But he had a theory that we all died in 2012 and everything that we're living afterwards is different timelines. And he was actively pushing Mandela effects or whatever. And I there's some of them that it was just, us not remembering or thinking it was one way and really it being another. But I think we can all come to an agreement that something's going on, right? Like something's happening. Here we go. Here's Gandalf the Grey.
Fly, you fools.
Fly, you fools.
It makes no sense.
What the hell?
It obviously makes no sense to a lot of other people as well.
Oh, no.
Did they have wings?
No.
What I noticed on that video was, because I listened to a couple quickly, is that there's loads of people have overdubbed it with run instead of fly now. And it is a big Mandela effect thing. I've never heard of it.
Yeah. And I found out the hard way because I'm sitting there. I'm sorry. Go ahead, buddy. What's up?
I was just going to say, it seems like every time you speak to somebody else, there's a new Mandela effect you've never heard of.
Right. There's a lot of them. And at the end of it, like when I was heavily covering it, I was like, all right, like some of these can be explained, some of these can't. But I think the one thing that we can come to an agreement is that something's definitely going on. What that is, I don't know.
Yeah.
But something's happening. And because a lot of people, like I said, like you just said, there's a lot of people there that remember Run You Fools to the point that they're dubbing it over. You know, and I never heard the dub over ones. You know, I went to it's one of my favorite movies. I love the first Lord of the Ring is my favorite movie. Never read the books. I don't know what it says in the books. It probably says "Fly You Fools" at this point because we've been shifted over to another reality. But I remember it saying "Run You Fools." I would say this on air for months and months and months until I decided to put it as a soundbite. And I literally, guys, I was searching for it for hours. I was like, no, where's Run You Fools? where is it? And it never happened because it doesn't play out that way. It's not a thing in this reality, wherever we are.
Who was it that said that in 2012 we all died?
That was a friend of mine from a long time ago, man. SMQAI. He was huge for a bit. I mean, hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube. He was with me on Truth Frequency Radio for a bit. And we became friendly, you know, but I haven't spoken to him in a time. I know he separated himself from a lot of it. And he went to go meditate somewhere. And then after that, I didn't really hear from him for a while. He went for a few months, I think. He just went to an island and went to go meditate.
Wow.
I mean, I like that theory because I mean, I've told this story on the show a few times. My friend Crazy Stew, we were in the kitchen 2012 New Year's Eve. He's crying on my shoulder. He's like, "We're gonna die," and he has young children at the time. I had no children at the time, so I was fine. I was just
so you go, hey, what the hell, right?
I was knee deep in beer. You know, I was up for a good time. He says, "We're gonna die," but now that your friend has said that, I'm thinking now, holy shit! It's like since 2012 is that when things started to just go a little bit Pete Tong? You know, what if like when people what if when people know they're gonna die, they pass away and they realize they've died, and in terms of like limbo, if all of a sudden the earth say exploded or something like that, and there is like a soul that doesn't know what to do with itself, what if it just carries on living the dream, the imagination, until it realizes, holy shit, we all died?
That's Beetlejuice, right?
That is Beetlejuice,
right?
That is Beetlejuice. I thought I just invented that, but
you kind of did. Don't worry about it. We're in a different reality. So yes, you invented it. You didn't hear it anywhere else. Well, I mean, you did, but you didn't remember, so it doesn't matter. What's up?
So wasn't there like a boy genius, like had this theory as well, and like he was bouncing around everywhere for a while. There was a guy that sort of went on tour with him, that did a load of films of it, filmed him like talking about these theories he had, and he had this theory that everybody died in 2012. Oh, sorry, not everybody died in 2012. Like literally, right, our reality timeline collapsed, and because of that, we had to be shifted over to another timeline because it just I'm not a genius. I can't
it's a little white kid, right?
Yeah,
I remember this kid.
And something really weird happened, didn't it? Because like he was everywhere, like doing these theories, and then all of a sudden it stopped like that, and he just completely vanished off the map. And there was like maybe a couple of statements put out from his mother saying that he's not going to make any public addresses anymore.
Right. He was super smart.
Yeah,
like even if he was wrong, right? Like,
yeah,
he was just incredibly smart, so articulate, and the theories that he would come up with and the way he would be able to justify them. I remember I don't remember his name, but I remember sitting there and just watching a bunch of
Was he autistic? Am I right by saying, was he autistic? I think he may have been autistic.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. There's also a kid in India, I want to say, that was very similar to this or whatever. But I remember that kid you're talking about. Now I got to go look him up and see if I can find him again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there was a minute there where you could find all of his stuff, and then I remember because we talked about him on a podcast last year sometime, and it took me ages to try to collect like most of the things that were put out of him before we did that episode. But yeah, it was really strange. But he's probably like 52 levels down in a military base right now in a flotation tank being filled full of hallucinogens.
Can you imagine if before 2012 the world was round, but after 2012 the world was flat?
You know, I remember an old acquaintance of mine that I haven't spoken to in years also. Max Egan. He said he got downloads from aliens. I don't know if you guys remember this.
I'm into it already.
He said that there was a whole thing that he was supposed to provide flat Earth proof, right? And then it never really happened. And then when he resurfaced a few days later, he said that he was abducted by aliens and they gave him a revelation that the Earth was flat and round. And it all depended on you and your perception and what you wanted. It's like choose your own reality. The Earth is flat or the Earth is round. That's what it was. Is what he said. So just reminded me of that.
I like Max Egan. He's out there, but he's one of those out there people that you can just listen to.
Very charismatic. Seems like a very nice guy. I never met him in person, but
yeah, no. He's one person I'd love to get on the podcast at some point, but I know he's quite difficult to nail down for interviews.
You can reach out. I mean, you reach out to him. He'll do the podcast. If you haven't reached out to him, reach out to him.
We were talking about flat Earth just before the show. We mentioned Jeranism, and you said, "What? The guy's not a flat Earther anymore." Yeah, he's not a flat Earther anymore.
When I knew him, and I never really knew him, like Egan was an acquaintance. He was on my show several times. He was on the first episode of America Unplugged. I did a debate with him and Jim Fetzer. I moderated the debate on a false flag shooting. Both of them had different. So I knew Egan fairly well. Jaren, I don't know at all. I think we shared the airwaves once. We were both on Truth Frequency Radio together. I just remember him being a wrestling fan, and I remember him being a big flat earther. Other than that, I didn't know that he'd faded from the flat earth scene.
Yeah, one of the biggest. And he went to Antarctica with someone who I forgot who it was, and there was another flat earther who came. He kind of exploded onto the scene a little bit, and he did the. Did you see the Tim Pool episode where Tim Pool had like a flat Earth debate, and he had like a flat earther, like a NASA guy, and someone else, which was like a heliocentrist. So it's a ball, but everything revolves around us type person. And this guy went down to Antarctica with Jeranism, and they observed like a 24-hour sun, and that was like the case closed for flat Earth for them. But the way Jeranism switched is like, it was really weird, because it's that's fine. I get the idea. Like, you go down, the 24-hour sun shows that the flat Earth model is wrong. But when you've been doing something for so long, even when you're presented with information, I would have thought that it would have took at least a small amount of time of like churning over this and getting this right in your head. He was like a light switch. The next day, he was on all the podcasts saying about how like the flat Earth's a cult. It's nonsense. Like really strange how quickly it flipped.
I'm gonna try to get in contact with him. I'd love to have a talk with him. I don't know if he will. He wouldn't. We wouldn't. I think I reached out to him a couple of times to be on the show when I was on TFR, and he wouldn't come on. So I don't know if I'd be able to get him on now. But I would say that that's an admirable thing to sit down. What's up?
It
buddy?
is. It's an admirable thing to change your mind when giving you information.
Right.
But I think just the veracity in which he switched and how quickly it was like a thing happened. It was like, oh well, there you go then. Because I still think there is some fundamental truth to the flat Earth thing. I don't necessarily know if the answer is the world's flat, but I can't think of, apart from the COVID vaccines, I can't remember a conspiracy theory which has had as much pushback and like organized debunking and organized like deboosting on YouTube and stuff like that than flat Earth did. So there's something in it that, let's say, like big tech, powers that be, Illuminati, reptilians, there's something in it that those people don't want you to pay attention to.
Well, they had to hold a meeting, didn't they? YouTube with there was a load of CEOs there, and I think it was in a courtroom.
It was in Congress, that mate.
Yeah, and they were saying, "What are you going to do about your platform with these flat earthers?"
Well, they did it under the veiled thing of conspiracy theory, didn't they? That's when conspiracy theories were nudged off. But at the time, it was like flat Earth became the most searched Google search.
So you can. I mean, I don't know. This is the first time hearing of it, literally. You know, since Ali brought it up.
He always does. Like Ollie he's absolutely a closet flat earther. He doesn't like to tell anybody.
I got the flat Earth map behind me, according to some. So, but
that's probably what made me mention it. Yeah,
right. Things are clicking here. Everything, Mandela effect, the flat Earth. I mean, it's just all molding in together. No, but there are some cornerstone proofs to theories that if that doesn't work, the theory falls apart. I don't know the flat Earth well enough to argue if the 24-hour sun is that cornerstone proof, but it seems to have been that for Jaren. Yeah. And for a person that had built such a huge following and spent years and years and years advocating for the flat Earth and trying to prove the flat Earth, for him to come to that moment that his whole paradigm was shattered. And then to turn around and go on air and say it takes some huge ball.
Absolutely.
And a lot of introspective investigation, right? And being real with yourself is the hardest thing anyone can do, is being honest with oneself, your true intentions, why you want to do something, why you feel the way you feel. You know, we can deflect and go to external reasons for these things. But ultimately, when you look inside and you start digging and digging and digging, and then you are real and honest with yourself, that is the absolute hardest thing to do, because it's the truth. You know exactly what's going on in there, right? Opening it up and coming to terms with it is something else. And for Jaren to have been able to do that, I commend him. I can sympathize to a certain degree. You know, so it's a tough realization to come to. And so it doesn't surprise me that he would do. I've seen this a lot in the alternative media. Like, from one moment to the next, people change, you know, typically not out of the rabbit hole, but further into the rabbit hole, definitely, you know, but out of the rabbit hole, I've seen a handful of people maybe, you know, and that's admirable. And to me, it's commendable. I look at something like that and I'm like, man, that's his entire life's work. Well, maybe not his entire life, but a good portion of it. Every freaking Monday night going live, you know, on TFR, on YouTube, talking to everybody, defending this. I'm sure he alienated some people trying to prove that the earth was flat. But when he came to a point where somebody proved to him that it was not, he didn't let the cognitive dissonance get in the way. He didn't build any walls. He didn't try to make any excuses. He says, damn, well, I was wrong. and he went ahead and tried to fix that. I think that's an incredible thing.
I think considering that, I would guess, I can't prove this, but I would guess that you would consider Jaron like a professional flat earther at that point as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the amount of work he was doing, I would think it was how he was paying his bills. So to essentially set fire to your own business as well, that's, you know, that's a decision that, you know.
Yeah. No, absolutely, man. It's a hard decision to come to, man. That's crazy. He was up there. It was him, Mark Sargent,
Dave Weiss.
David Weiss. That's my guy. Yeah. I love David Weiss.
He's been on the show as well. Like, I am so happy we didn't pay him by the word, though. That man speaks fast.
He does. He does. We disagree a lot, you know, he and I. But he is my dude. He seems to be a good dude. I got to meet him in person once. We hung out. I think I told you guys this or whatever. Yeah. Fat hot sauce or whatever. I'll never forget it. I still have it. That's my guy. I think overall, and I have a lot of flat earth friends. It's incredible how many flat earth friends I have, right?
Well, in this industry, you kind of attract them, don't you? In the conspiracy realms,
you know. And I remember somebody hit me up with something this week about a lawsuit that it was a flat earther that somebody was supposed to. It was a contest, and somebody was supposed to prove that the flat earth wasn't flat, right? That it was actually like a round earth, right? And they were like, look, they lost this lawsuit. They couldn't prove that that the earth was round. They couldn't prove it. And they went to court and the judge ruled in the favor of the flat earther. And they sent me a screenshot of the court documents. And I took a snapshot and I had to like expand it because I can't see. And when I saw the name, I'm like that's my friend. I know this guy. It was Zen Garcia, you know. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Zen, but he's a big figure in the flat earth movement, a religious flat earther. He uses the Bible to argue the flat earth. And the reason why he did win the court case, but it was on a technicality, on the way that the person that brought evidence of the round earth, the way the evidence was presented, it disqualified him from the parameters that Zen had laid out that needed to be met in order to get the money. So it wasn't saying that the earth was flat or round for that matter. It was just saying you didn't meet the criteria that was laid out. That's all. So that was it. But yeah, I knew Zen Garcia. So I was like, hey, I know this guy. And it's pretty cool. I know this guy, you know. A lot of really good flat earthers, really good people. It's just I don't necessarily agree with the whole thing.
How long have you been into conspiracy for now? Like doing it kind of professionally?
I don't know if I ever did it professionally, Lee. You know, what does that mean? I got paid for it, so I guess that means to a degree, right? That I did it professionally. So I guess I did it professionally, getting paid for it for about 4 years.
Right.
But all the other times it was a passion project. I'm just sitting there.
So within this passion project, which is the one that you've found while doing the show, you've gone, holy shit, that's blown my mind?
All right, it's I can give you the short answer or the long answer. Which would you prefer?
Whichever you prefer.
No, that's a cop out. You got it.
I'll take the long one. I want to explain properly.
Okay, it won't be too long. Anyway, we'll meet everybody halfway.
So there's this Father Christmas guy.
Give us the best content. So when I got into this, I listened to a few people, you know, and I listened to, I listened to you know, people that we would all know, names that we would all know, and I wanted to interview all of them. And I did, right? I did, with the exception of Alex Jones, but I met Alex Jones on 2 different occasions, you know, and so that was cool. But I interviewed everybody else I wanted to interview, and it was great, you know, and became friends with most of them. And there's only one person, and remember, this is from before I got in the game, before I started podcasting, right? I think I started podcasting at about 2017, 2015, 2016. I started wrestling podcasting before that. Right. But for the Infinite Fringe, I think it was 2016, 2017, I'm not sure. So people that I knew before that I had listened to, there is only one out of many. There's only one person that I still hold in the same regard that I did before. And that person is Neil Sanders. Your thoughts are not your own. He's fully migrated out of the rabbit hole. He was with me at Iconic. We were both there together. We started David Icke's Iconic together, he and I. And we both left very different people than when we walked in. But he was the one that turned me on to Cambridge Analytica, and that was the one that completely shattered my paradigm. That it was Jaren's 24-hour sun. Mine was Cambridge Analytica. Mm-hmm. You know, and it is the conspiracy that conspiracy theorists don't want to touch. You know, and Neil had done a whole series on it because he was all about mind control. You know, that's what he did for Iconic. It's a brilliant series that he did with Iconic. They should still have it up. And he told me about Cambridge Analytica, and I was like, whoa. That was the one. Initially, what got me in was 9/11, like we've spoken about before. You know, yeah. I'm from New York. You know, I was here when it happened. But that one conspiracy that blew my mind and completely changed me while I was in the thing, actively working in it, was Cambridge Analytica. It was the awakening within the awakening for me. It was like, even if it wasn't a true awakening, right? If we were all still asleep, it shifted me over to another part of this reality. Yeah. Or another, something else. Something happened where everything changed after that point. That was what it was for me. It's pretty short, right? That was explained, but short. Good. Okay, good.
I feel like I should know what Cambridge Analytica is, and I don't.
You should do. It's one of Britain's greatest exports, Ollie. The British are better at fucking with people than anybody else in the world. Oh yes, yeah,
I do know the conspiracy theory. Yes,
brilliant.
Did either of you hear? I only listened to this today, so I think it might have gone up at the beginning of the week. Danny Jones had a guy on his podcast called Dr. Epstein, and oddly enough, I started listening to this show today, and he runs a non-profit organization. Yeah, that
a non-profit island.
No, it's a different Epstein. In fact, Danny Jones went out of his way to make sure he pronounced it slightly differently. But this guy runs a non-profit organization which looks into Google and how Google searches influence. Well, he started by influence people's voting habits, and he found in the first round of testing that he could take undecided voters, and by simply showing them more things, he could get a 40% conversion rate on those to vote a certain way, the way he wanted to. It's terrifying. It's because it is like I know exactly what you mean, Billy, about the Cambridge Analytica thing. Because it's that point where you go, like, am I even doing this? Am I even doing this
exactly, bro?
Because I want to do this, or am I doing this because I've watched so much stuff and I'm part of the problem because I'm doing the conspiracy theory part now.
Exactly, exactly. My whole train of thought at that time. What am I doing? Why am I doing it? Who is telling me to do this?
Yeah.
You know, and all legit questions that everybody should ask themselves, right? Ali, I implore you to go look into Cambridge Analytica.
I'm gonna do. I mean, this is it.
Listen.
Are you telling me the reason that I could be sat here doing this because this is where my path, where they want me to be?
Maybe not Ali directly, but people.
Yeah.
You know, certain people were caught in a net that was cast out. This isn't even conspiracy theory. This is a conspiracy fact. Mm-hmm. This is not something that we are theorizing about. This happened and it's provable, right? It's something that the mainstream even acknowledges. And when I became familiar with it, I was like, oh my God. And to be honest with you, we have it divided up into sections. We have Cambridge Analytica 1.0, which took place because Cambridge Analytica as a company does not exist anymore. It came out of the UK, like Lee said. The SEL Group was the parent company, and Steve Bannon and the Mercers got together to fund it and create it. They came up with scripts of what should be said, and they harvested information from social media, Facebook, stuff like that, to the point where they had 5,000 data points on every American, and they would mold perception for voting purposes. Michael Flynn was an employee of the SEL Group, and he had run these type of psychological operations on Africa and Trinidad and Tobago. This is proven. And they got their Brexit. Brexit was another thing that Cambridge Analytica was instrumental in. Yeah. And the way they did it was just mind blowing. I'm like, and we knew better. We all should have known better anyway, because we all knew the dangers of social media. Yeah. But I guess the apple was just too tempting. We had to take a bite, and so that's Cambridge Analytica 1.0 was 2016, 2017, when through Cambridge Analytica, they got Donald Trump elected through the Electoral College, of course, because he still lost the popular vote. Cambridge Analytica 2.0, which is just an umbrella term that we use for the psychological operations that are being run on the people actively. These are real conspiracy theories, guys. Real. For anybody that's listening, you want real conspiracies to dig into, how you've been manipulated mentally? This is the one. This is the one. It's not for the faint of heart, because you're going to have to look inside and come to terms with certain things. So Cambridge Analytica 2.0 is 2024 and what happened moving into the election for Donald Trump in 2024. But now, and I just finished talking about it with some of my friends, with John Brissom and Wheezy and a couple of other people. Shouts to you guys. Twisted, what's going on? And I don't know if you guys are aware, but the whole Palantir thing is just broke. That the Trump administration is using Peter Thiel and Palantir to gather information on every American. And this is all encompassing. We've been talking about this in conspiracy world for some time, how this is going to happen. This is going to be a reality where it's here now. And this is the culmination. This is the end game. This is Cambridge Analytica 3.0. Once they have all that information on everybody, just go look at I call it the Rosetta Stone for conspiracy is Cambridge Analytica. Go look at what they did with the information that they had. What Palantir is putting together is 100 times worse than what they had originally at the original Cambridge Analytica.
Before we go into like the Trump side of it right now and the Palantir thing, what cracked my head open a little bit, especially being like on this side of the globe, with the Brexit vote and how Cambridge Analytica was involved in that, and Google. Because if you look at it like politically, it was a like center right wing issue, Brexit, and pretty much like if you're right wing, you'd probably vote to leave the EU. If you were left wing, you were probably going to stay in. Yeah. So the wild thing about this is you expect big tech companies to lean left, because in general, big tech companies lean left, apart from Brexit. During the Brexit vote, Google flooded the people with pro-leave propaganda, essentially.
Yeah, I remember that.
This is something I've only just learned. So then you go, well, why the fuck would Google, a left-leaning, left-leaning, maybe a bit further than left-leaning organization, prop up a right-wing Brexit? And it's because they fucking hate the European Union, because the European Union are the only thing out there which actually tries to hold Google to account. So the idea is, you take Britain out of the European Union, you weaken it. Like you can see it now that I think there's still like this antitrust laws and stuff, antitrust suits going on, isn't there, right now with Google? I think they'll probably get told that they have to sell Chrome and YouTube, probably. I think
yeah. What else? They have something else. Instagram, right?
Yeah. I think, and it's
that's Meta. I'm not sure. Anyway, go ahead.
No, Instagram is Meta. But the interesting thing is, if they have to sell Google, it doesn't matter to them, because as this Dr. Epstein was explaining, is that Google will still use, whoever buys Chrome will still use Google's safe list. So when you search something, it still has to go through a Google backend, and it's still, so they still get the data. The only people that could work out for a plus is for people like us, because I think if YouTube gets sold, there will, as a PR move, you will get somebody centrist, center-right, free speechy sort of thing will buy YouTube, and we might see like a short time where YouTube goes back to like 2015, 2016 YouTube.
That AI Google thing, that scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, but the as for the Trump and Palantir thing and what they're building, I mean, look at the. I know last time you were on the show, Billy, like you were very adamant about the dangers of Donald Trump and stuff like that, and we were very much, well, let's take some hopium, let's hope for the best. But this big beautiful bill, and there's two things that scare me. This pushing forward for a national ID for you guys, which is a digital ID, which should be what all the conspiracy theorists are going, hang on a minute, this is what we've been worried about for years. And the fact that in that big beautiful bill there is a 10-year hold on AI being like reined in by the states.
Right.
That's insane.
I don't know how we got to this point. I just don't know. And every time I do a show, I say this, So anybody that listens to anything that I still do, they're like, here he goes again, talking about how he doesn't know how the hell we got here. But I really don't. Yeah. It's to the point where we've been, and I mean conspiracy theorists now, I'm not talking about anybody else, especially people that have been in the game for some time. We've been trained to see this, right? We used to talk about it. We used to talk about it every day. Like I remember listening to Alex Jones in 2005 and beyond, and he would say, two sides of the same coin, the Democrats and the Republicans. We got to uphold the Constitution. Every time we used to order anything from InfoWars, we get a pocket Constitution. He would put it in there. Now he doesn't seem to give a damn about the Constitution. It's a sidebar. Police state, the dangers of AI and the technocrats, right? And how they were going to gather up all your information and be able to predict to a 99% certainty what you were going to do the next moment. Mm-hmm. Like, and that is a fact that they can do that now, according to them anyway, right? But here we are. We've long crossed the Rubicon here.
Yeah.
And there are still people that are blind to it, and I don't get it. Right?
Well,
although I should, I just don't get it. I don't understand. What's up, Lee? What were we going to say?
This is the weird thing. People always turn around and say, "Oh, if we're not lucky, we'll be living in 1984." We passed 1984.
Right.
1984 was about 2016. Like we're headed towards Brave New World.
Oh yeah, man.
That's the real blueprint of
Good
how
way to
things
put
are
it.
going to be.
Right, I agree with you. I agree with you. Actually, like, I think that's where we're already there to a degree. And what did we expect when Elon Musk and Peter Thiel got involved? don't be mistaken. This would have happened regardless. If Kamala Harris got in or Joe Biden got in, we were still going to head down the same road. Donald Trump has just accelerated it a lot. You know, that's different. Yes. Very nice. Very nice. And what did we expect when we let technocrats run the government? Technocratic things, you know. This was the danger, and they are going to wield the biggest power, the most powerful weapon over humanity, and that's information. And they will have you mapped out down to your DNA, man. They'll know everything. Everything.
You know, even like it shows something's going on because it in some way I think it might actually speak for some of the character Elon Musk has, is the fact that this bill's come out and he's gone, nah, this is fucked.
Breaking news. I don't know if Ali can come up with some type of a sound effect for the breaking news. You want to do that? There you go. Thank you. That was brilliant. That was awesome. I just got this sent to me while I was on air. So if you saw me like make a face or something, this was it. Elon Musk tweets out or X's out or repost, whatever the hell. Time to drop the really big bomb. Breaking this just dropped. At real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT.
Oh my!
I don't know what to say.
Does that come from his actual account?
Man, I got it from two different sources right now. I haven't verified it myself, but these are people that would not, if they were screwing around, they would have told me.
Musk's been going hard today. I seen like Musk had like a collage of all these really cool like pro-America tweets that Donald Trump put out, and he put a collection of them into one tweet with like with a header of like saying, "Where's this guy gone?"
I saw. Yes.
Yeah.
I saw.
Like, see, that's the thing. I do think Musk has some bonuses to him. I like the fact he's pro family. I like the fact he's pro people having kids. I like the fact he talks about the replacement rate being under par for where it needs to be for people. I kind of like the fact he fucking hates Peter Thiel. That's also a bonus. But there has to be something with the Epstein files. I've thought this now for the past, ever since Dan Bongino and Kash Patel looked fucking awkward going, oh, yeah, he definitely killed himself.
Dude, I went in on that on my show.
Ever since that, I thought, oh, right, okay, what's going on here then?
Hey, man, it's real, bro. I'm looking at it right now. You want me to
absolutely
share the screen?
Yeah, share it. Let's go.
Yeah. Let me see. It's right.
This is surreal.
Here it is. Time to drop the really big bomb. He did it 40 minutes ago. Elon Musk. It's moving in count as we speak.
Mark this post for the future. Truth will come out.
Fuck.
Wow.
My God.
20 million.
My God. Like, what is going on here? What the hell is going on here? Trump is saying that Elon Musk has Trump derangement syndrome now. Yeah,
if you're going to turn around, if one person's saying you're on the Epstein list and your answer is you've got Trump derangement syndrome, you lost that argument.
But this is something else. You know, I don't know what to say. Listen, it's all good with me. I think what we need to do is create some friction here, create some traction, have some things slow down, And this might provide a slowdown. Ultimately, we want to be good, right? In the United States and worldwide, we want to be happy. We want to live fulfilling lives, right? And be able to take trips with your family, spend time with your kids, make enough money to live. I don't want to see this collapse, even though it inevitably will at some point. I want to delay that as much as possible. So let's try to get that done. I'm just saying.
I was going to say there was something else that came up with that as well. Oh yeah, the Robert Kennedy Jr. Scandal that was apparently going to drop any day, wasn't it? This was a few months ago. That just evaporated into nothing.
What is that? I don't remember that. Tell me.
There was a threat that there was going to be videos that incriminated Robert Kennedy Jr. Because I first thought, oh fuck, Epstein Island shit. But I don't think it was. I think it was more affair stuff, and where he'd been sending pictures of himself and receiving pictures of other women and stuff like that. And that was supposed that was said. I think it was Ian Carroll broke that he'd been told this stuff is coming out within 24 hours, and it just went dead.
Jesus. I don't know anything about it. I got to go look it up. I don't know how that evaded my radar, but it totally did.
I mean, I'm still caught up on this Trump Elon thing. I thought they were best buds.
And I especially in Europe, you guys, props to everybody in Europe that's listening right now that decided to really, really fuck Elon Musk over and not buy his fucking cars. I'm sorry if I'm cursing. My apologies.
It's fine.
It's fine on this show. Trust me.
I'm very happy about that. The value of Tesla has dropped, right? People aren't buying Teslas over there. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. I don't know if this is the reason for any of this, but he's decided to separate himself from the Trumps. Well, this is beyond separating. He's attacking.
Yeah,
right.
I do think there's a chance that part of this could be to try and rescue his brand. Because
I think so, right? Yeah, go ahead.
The wild thing about Elon Musk is, and how quickly things shifted. He was the darling of the progressives at one point. He had all the green energy stuff going on. He was going to put fucking solar panels on all the roofs. He was going to drill under cities and make fucking railways. Or whatever it was, the car things.
Yeah, man.
He had planned.
Yeah, his robots would have had purple hair at some point. Yeah, He was well in.
And it's then he would. And to be honest, I think there's something weird in the fact that when you get these people going, this guy's great. He's so he's the next Steve Jobs. He's so innovative. He's so dynamic, and then he then shifts political aisle. And the same people that would have washed in his fucking cum will now fucking hate him.
It's like a relationship, right? You meet a girl, and you think she's the greatest thing ever, and it's beautiful in the beginning, right? And you guys are going out and having sex, right? And eating and drinking and having the best of time. You're going dancing. It's the greatest. But later something happens and you don't want to talk to each other anymore. So it's a natural progression of a relationship after you've been attacked. And Elon Musk turned his back on these people.
Yeah.
So of course they're going to turn his back on them. And they had legit gripes to do so. I live in New York, of course. This is Babylon to a lot of people. I love it here. But there's people that drive around in Teslas. There's a lot of Teslas out here, especially for Ubers, right? And they have on the back of the car, no Elon now, so they were cool with it before, but now they're not, because of what Elon has sided himself with. And I would see, he wasn't the only one. It's Elon Musk, RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard. You can go down the line of people, JD Vance, of people that were so against Donald Trump, they called him a Nazi. JD Vance called him a Nazi. And for power, they switched it up, and went in and did what they did. The only thing is that Elon Musk might actually be as powerful as Donald Trump, and so these are two big egos, two big narcissists, and let's see what develops. It's World War III amongst MAGA right now. This is crazy.
Well, you've got to think as well with Elon Musk, how much of him do you think he credits for Donald Trump getting elected? When you consider social media stuff, even down to like the podcast side of things, because all of the podcast guys like the Rogans and stuff of the world, they're all tight with Elon. They've all been tight with Elon for a long time. I can't help but think, because take Rogan for instance. Like Donald Trump credited Rogan for being one of the people that one of the biggest reasons for him getting elected. Rogan knocked Trump back twice before this election.
Mm-hmm.
So someone had a word in the ear to make that happen this time around.
Well, he tweeted that out too, Elon. I'm looking for it now. I don't know if I'll find it. He tweets out a lot, but he was like, I'm responsible for getting Donald Trump elected.
Wow.
Yeah, he said that it's because of me. And then Donald Trump said, I don't need him to get me elected. But he said, Elon is already taking credit. I mean, anybody that's been following this knows that Elon Musk was instrumental. Even Donald Trump has admitted it, instrumental in getting Donald Trump into the White House to the tune of, $300 million that was spent, for influence.
Down to the, wasn't he paying for people for new voters to sign up at one point?
Yep.
Yeah.
He was giving away $1 million.
Wow.
And they were arguing whether or not that was legal, but he was allowed to do so. But yeah, you're absolutely right. He was paying people $1 million to sign up to vote. It's crazy what's gone on here. I really don't know. There are people in my camp that say this is all theater. I mean, we can't rule that out, but I don't subscribe to that point of view, even though it's something I'm willing to listen to.
Well, this is just them two having a little bit of a joke.
I mean, they're saying this is not what I'm saying. This is what other people are saying. They're saying that in an effort to rehabilitate Elon Musk brand, that they are doing this secretly and everything will be fine later. I think that even if everything is fine later, this is not the reason this is going down. And really, I don't know how everything could be fine. I don't know if you guys follow hip hop, but there was the whole Kendrick Lamar and Drake thing.
Yeah.
Kendrick called Drake a pedophile. Nothing's going to be fine after that. In my opinion, so Elon Musk just said that the reason the reason the Epstein files weren't released was because they're covering up for Donald Trump. What is he implying? He's implying that what are you doing? There's no relationships being salvaged after this, even though money and power can be the cure for a lot of things. So we don't know. Let's see what develops later on. But I do think this is real.
Yeah, it's a big grenade to throw out.
Right.
I saw Musk tweeted earlier as well that there needs to be a new political party formed for the 90% of people that are in the middle. It's kind of what I've said about the UK for ages, is that there needs this tribalism, like left right thing. It's got to the point now where it's so destructive. It's like the team thing. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares about policies. No one cares about what people are actually going to do. They just care about what color the tie is.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
The thing is, if there's some meat to this, and it kind of sounds like there might be, how can you ever trust anybody again?
Yeah.
Are they all on the same side?
Well, here's the question then. Elon Musk currently sporting a black eye in the Black Eye Club. Humiliation ritual, or is this an argument that's happened inside the camp? Because it has to be one or the other, because he's clearly been punched.
Steve Bannon came out and said that it was legit. He got punched in the face, right? It was either by Scott Bessent or Stephen Miller. One of these guys punched this dude in the face. Yeah. Scott Bessent was screaming at him that he promised trillions of dollars of savings. Initially, he promised $2 trillion, and then $1 trillion with Doge. And he's not even close to meeting that. So Scott Bessent was pretty pissed off about it. And apparently the story goes that Elon shoved Scott Bessent, and then Scott Bessent decked him. What's up, Scott Bessent? That's real nice. But there's another narrative that it was Stephen Miller that punched him. I can't stand Stephen Miller. So, I don't know what happened there, but I know he unfollowed Stephen Miller on Twitter. And he hired Stephen Miller's wife to go work for him. So Stephen Miller's wife quit the administration to go work for X. This sounds like TMZ at this point, it's crazy. But all of this is true if we choose to buy into this reality.
I mean, realistically, it doesn't matter. Like the idea when you've got people say, some say it's theater, so like people think, because I agree with you. I think it's more Game of Thrones than theater.
Right. Oh yeah, that's a perfect way. You've been killing it today.
Yeah,
with these analogies, that's a perfect way of putting it.
I've got them all saved up. I've got a really, really smart person that's just off camera. It doesn't really matter whether it's real or fake because it has real world consequences.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. I've been trying to lay that out to people for quite some time. Maybe I'm not the best communicator, but I'm like, does it really matter? At the end of the day, it affects your bottom line. Mm-hmm. Yours. So if you want to be selfish about this and you don't give a damn about anybody else, think about what it's going to do to you. And if it's not going to do it to you now, it's definitely going to affect you later.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we have to work on even that level now to try to get things together because things aren't looking good.
It is.
Well,
it is wild.
If Trump is gonna he's gonna want a stop to those Teslas in the US after this.
Yeah.
I mean,
holy crap.
And you can forget them robots, Elon.
Yeah, man.
Well, right. Let's be
not that I trust
honest.
them robots anyway.
But this is something I do find weird about Elon. And if you want to go on about things being like staged. So take Tesla out of it, yeah? And SpaceX. Think about all of the other things that Elon Musk was gonna put out. Like
an all right flamethrower.
Nothing came to market. The Tesla battery, fucking fucked, isn't it? Nobody's uses Tesla batteries. The Boring company that was going to do the Hyperloop's dead. Mm-hmm. The Solar City dead. The solar panels for people could put on the roofs that would charge up their Tesla batteries dead. And even somebody else would have to explain to me about SpaceX because I find it very difficult to believe that a single person can run, because okay, Tesla was a car company already, but realistically it was like a shell of a car company when he got it. So this one guy's come in, revolutionized the electric car industry, now has a 95% market share of things that are sent into space. I think like 95% of stuff that's sent into space is sent through SpaceX now.
You don't hear much about NASA anymore.
Tens of thousands of satellites now like that can provide internet and whatever else those satellites are up there for. The first, what I would consider serious, because I don't really consider Jeff Bezos's like rocket thing serious. In fact,
the penis rocket.
I don't actually think those celebrities went into space. I think that was all bullshit. So he's got the only serious like civilian, like private space industry company going.
Yeah.
You do not do that without huge amounts of help from other people.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like these people are all intimately involved regardless, right? I mean, Elon has several government contracts. Elon is cool with Peter Thiel. That's his boy, and Palantir has just been tapped. to garner information on all of it.
Do they not hate each other, him and Peter Thiel?
There's the PayPal mafia. I think from what I understand, they're still cool. I don't think they have an issue. I know
it might be a different guy I'm thinking of.
OpenAI, you're thinking of Altman. He doesn't
Sam Altman. Yeah, right. I am.
He hates him.
Yeah.
But with Thiel, they're cool still. Yeah. So everybody's still making money here. Everybody's still getting control, and the technocrats are going to move forward regardless. I mean, Elon Musk paid $300 million for Trump to get elected for a reason. Even if they're having a spat now, he's going to make his money. He's going to get what he paid for. And he definitely paid for something. He didn't give this money up for free. So regardless whether he likes Donald Trump or not, or they're tearing each other down right now, I think Elon Musk thinks he can win this war. And I think Donald Trump thinks the same. Regardless, they can go to war. Elon Musk is going to get paid.
Yeah. Well, think about it. If you're looking at stuff in like technocracy as being the end goal, the whole like Internet of Things, this connected world, we're not doing that with like copper wire and fiber optic cable. That's not the way it's going to be. It's going to be with Starlink.
Yeah,
that's the future of the internet. Is like internet from the sky. So you do that, especially like when you go down the idea of like wearables and Neuralink and stuff like that. The fucking data that would be streaming back and forwards from people.
It's going to happen, bro. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. I saw a story the other day meaning yesterday, of Amazon. They're going to start making deliveries with humanoid-looking robots.
Yeah, I saw that.
Very soon. This is happening. We're here. Yeah. We're here. There is no turning back. It's only what we do with it moving forward is how we're going to be able to salvage our humanity. But there is no turning back at this point. This is all happening.
We'll see. We're going to see like a modern day like Luddite movement that's trying to that's like just in the same way that the people were going and smashing printing presses up because it was stealing people's jobs and factory machinery. You're going to get people attacking robots, saying like, no, this is like sabotaging self-driving vans, that type of thing.
Man, I think you hit on something. Yeah, I think that's going to happen. I don't know when, but I think it's going to happen. And I don't know if they'll blame it on the left, but everybody needs to come together to claim our part in this future, right? Because we're going to be phased out.
I think they'll have switched by then again. I think they'll flip flop it because it's only become apparent to me over the last like few months. So like when I was, I consider myself like right leaning now. Whereas I would have been, I consider myself left leaning when I was younger, when I was in my 20s and teens and 20s. The fact is though, when I was in my teens and like when 9/11 happened and stuff like that, and you there watching Loose Change and all the rest of these things, conspiracy theory is a left-wing issue. Now it's a right-wing issue. Now you're a crazy right-wing conspiracy theorist. I personally think these things swap naturally. I don't think it's organic. Sorry, I don't think it's organic. So I shouldn't say naturally, because it confuses everybody.
Tell me more about that at some point. And I mean it, Lee. Tell me more about it, please. I want to know your perspective on this, because what I found after my second awakening, whatever you want to call it, is that about 95 to 99% of these conspiracies come out of the right. And that's what Alex Jones was. That's what Bill Cooper was. Even though Bill Cooper was kind of
Alex Jones, though. Alex Jones was attacking the Republicans back then, though.
He was, but he was fiercely conservative, and a lot of his talking points came straight out of the John Birch Society. And John Birch has been around, I think since 58. And if you go back and look at what John Birch used to, and still does to a much lesser degree because their influence has waned, although their influence has waned as an organization, but their ideas are still very prevalent. If you look back at what they did in 58 and in the 60s and in the 70s, a lot of that stuff has been repackaged and reintroduced to us right now. And I'm like, what's up, buddy? Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, see, from my point of view, whenever I think of conspiracy theories back then, whether it's like weapons of mass destruction, the like say going to 9/11, which I think was the big thing for lots of people, it's anti-government essentially. That's what the underlying idea is anti-government, and that was for me growing up a left-wing issue. Well, that was a left-wing perspective, because I could always, until like Blair got in, and even then I wasn't really paying attention to it. But like lots of the lead up to that was all conservative governments over here. When I'd look across the water at you guys, I'd see Judge Bush Jr. there. So to me, looking at it, it was a right. The conspiracy was against the right wing at that point for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this changes. I think this changes and moves around a lot, and I think it's another thing. Like everything, like we are separated by race, gender, sexuality, just anything, religion. Anything that you can fragment society with has been dialed up now to a point where you can't get along with anybody else if there's a slight issue, and that I think that's a new thing. Is
that not by design though?
I think so.
Like
yeah.
From whatever the hand that rocks the cradle is.
Yeah, I think so. I think that could be the early. If we were talking about Cambridge Analytica like 3.0 with the Palantir thing. This might have been like Cambridge Analytica 0.5 or so Cambridge Analytica Alpha.
Right. I just think even in 9/11, I see what you mean, because George Bush was a Republican, right? And he was in office, so it looked like there was pushback against them. A lot of the left never accepted the conspiracy theory. People of 9/11, that they accepted the official story.
Right.
George Bush was just so happened to be in office, and he was quote unquote conservative. But the left never really bought into the conspiracy. It was people that leaned on the right that bought into the conspiracy, and that was like, oh my God, it's we weren't told the truth about this. We subscribed to loose change, all that sort of stuff. What was the other documentary? Alex Jones made a few of them. And there was another documentary that came out that it wasn't loose change. I forget. Well, there were a few that were huge or whatever, but it was the people that sided more conservative, that were largely more involved in these conspiracies than people on the left. Sure, we can get some examples of people that were sucked into it. But I think we are the target, especially now after Cambridge Analytica itself. Like, I think we are the target. Like, I think the conspiracy theorists were the targets, and the Christians were the targets. And look at the people that are actively backing this entire thing right now, that are cool with it. It's the conspiracy theorists, and it's the Christians, the Christian nationalists here in the United States. I think that was the base audience that they wanted to build their empire on. It spilled over, of course, to the mainstream, but we are the base that they work this all around. This is a conspiracy theory administration. Go ahead, Lee. What's up?
No, I was going to agree with you. I think there's no perfect example of that, and even as I'm saying this, I think there's a lot of truth in the psyop, but it was the QAnon movement. That I 100% believe that the worst things we can possibly think of were going on in Epstein Island. I'm convinced of that.
Oh yeah.
But that's what you do. If you're going to make it a psychological operation, you would have 80% fact in it. Then you'd stick 20% like madness in it, and you'd make sure the whole thing skewed the way you wanted it to go.
Yeah. I largely agree with that. I would separate QAnon and Epstein. QAnon was largely nonsense, right? And it was a psychological operation, which I think it was Michael Flynn was intimately involved in. I can't fully prove that, but he did work for psychological operations for years and years and years. And he took the oath, and he used to sign his books, Where We Go, One We Go All, all of this other stuff. And then he goes back and forth and says, no, I have nothing to do with it. Oh yeah, of course we're down with QAnon. We're going to take the oath, and we have digital warriors and all this other stuff. But Epstein is something that we can prove.
But I don't think the Epstein stuff comes out without QAnon.
I
think that was the link. That was the link that linked the politicians, celebrities with systematic child abuse. I don't think anything happens to Epstein without that coming out.
I think it does, but I understand where you come from with it. I like to separate the two because I don't want to delegitimize anything that we can get out of this Epstein situation.
I get it, yeah.
Right. So I like to separate the two. But QAnon did try to pull from reality, and they made a lot of accusations against people that can't be proven. But with Epstein, they can be proven. That doesn't mean it's the same people. But yeah, Bill Clinton was involved. Yeah, right. Right. I think we can all say that.
To
Prince Andrew and Donald Trump.
Prince Andrew was I got blocked by Piers Morgan for asking him if he had a good time staying with him. But like I think even the Bill Clinton thing, I think we knew Bill Clinton was a scumbag, but it was I still think it was the QAnon stuff that then tied him in with the like being on Epstein's jet and stuff like that. I'm just not sure if people are willing to make such big steps without that as like a lubricant to do it.
Yeah, I think here with the Epstein stuff, with the the Diddy parties, all these like perverse things that go on in the world, I think they're narrated by people who are bigger than them, and it is a way to get these group of powerful people. You feed into their darkest fantasies, and then you've got leverage over them because they will then do whatever you want them to do. Otherwise, this gets released.
I think I think the whole Epstein and Diddy parties is simply desensitization from people in high circles.
Boys, so I gotta go.
No worries, buddy.
But let's do this again soon. I'm off in a couple of. I'll send you guys some dates, and if you'll have me, I'll be happy to come.
Absolutely.
Actually, just said, well, let's make sure it's not like over a year this time. Like in the next few weeks, that'd be great.
It's better that way. What is it? Absence fonds the heart or some shit.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Exactly. Right. So no, but I'll be off for the majority of the summer. So I plan to relaunch or launch some projects that I've been thinking about launching for some time. And I'd love to spend some time with you guys, man. So it would be dope. I'll send you some dates, and if you guys will have me, I'd love to.
Absolutely. Are you going to get anything back on the Fringe at all? Is that one of the projects you want to?
Yeah. But yes. But it may be different than what we used to have on the Fringe. It'll still be conspiracy and parapolitical, but it's only rooted in things that we can prove. And if we're speculating, we'll frame. I mean, I think we did that on the Fringe regardless, but when I tried to do a good job at saying we're speculating here and all that other stuff, but it'll be something different. I'm going to keep that feed. I'm going to start another feed. Also, I might get with Mr. Gates, and we'll do some
as in Bill.
Yeah, Big Bill.
Yes, as in Bill Gates. He's giving out money, and I don't want to lose out on that. And quite frankly, I don't care what anybody thinks when I'm going to be, swimming in millions and millions of dollars while you guys are receiving the universal basic income. So don't knock me for aligning myself with Bill Gates. No. This is my boy, Mr. Gates, who was on Aftermath with me, and we did a podcast called Paranormal, Into the Paranormal. And we might bring that back. That was a pretty cool show, and it's fun, and we talk about like paranormal subjects. So we might bring that back and put that up on the Fringe along with whatever else I'm doing. But I'm launching something else. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fully follow through with it, but I'm gonna try. And if I can't, that's it. It's fine. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I'm gonna give it a shot. So
next time we speak, I'm going to try and tempt you to go with a different podcast host as well, so people can listen to you on platforms that aren't just Apple Podcasts.
I love Apple. I see that this is my problem. I am part of the cult of Apple.
A creature of habit.
Everything is Apple. My whole setup here is Apple. My phone is Apple. I got Apple AirPod Maxes. I have where are my other ones? I have earbuds, like 3 different type of Apple earbuds. I'm an audio junkie.
You can only truly be in the cult now, though, if you've got Apple Vision Pros. That's the rules.
When I come on the show next time, I'll wear my Apple Vision Pros. I haven't gone that far to getting that. But yeah, man. No. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys.
No, cheers, Billy. Thanks for coming on.
When is it dropping?
This will be out tomorrow. This will be out tomorrow morning.
We got to get it out as soon as possible because of the Epstein thing. So make sure, because we dropped it here first, guys. You heard it here first, even if you didn't. We actually reported it here before anyone else. So there you go.
Yeah. I'll give you a text in the morning to get it to share it.
Send me the MP3. I'll put this up on the Fringe to give some content over there for a little bit. So
awesome, cheers, man.
Later, guys. Be good.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And now I can't get off. This is all.
Perfect. Well, there's the boy. The boy's gone. The one of my favorite conspiracy podcasters of all time.
He's probably got one of the best podcast voices.
Yes, yeah, I think he probably has. It's right up there.
It's quite relaxed, and you sit down. You can have a cigar while listening. I don't smoke cigars, but I could. My connection kept going all the way through that. By the way, so if ever I would just stood still, I was like trying to let you and Billy catch up. So yeah,
I didn't notice.
Yeah, I think it's because I was looking at Donald Trump.
Well, if you enjoyed this episode, guys, thanks very much. All the support you give us means the world. Couple of things to tidy up. Please go and subscribe to the Patreon. It's $5.99. You'll get this show ad-free, along with all the other audio shows. You'll get ad-free. You will get the video for this show 7 days early, and then it'll go up on YouTube for the free feed losers. But you don't want to be a free feed loser. You want to be a patron. You also get to do the hangout with us at the end of every month. We do a live hangout.
Naked as well. This month, I think.
If we can make 200 patrons by the end of the month, then I'm not going to stand up. But
I'm in. I'll do it naked.
I will be naked.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. So, but we need 200 patrons. 200 patrons by the time we go live. 999 doesn't even get you a nipple for 200. Because we're to be fair, we can still do it as well, because I still haven't got around to emailing Spotify patron to take the not safe for work sticker offers, because we are supposedly safe for work. But yeah, so
we definitely can't stand up then.
No. We are not safe for work, so we could stand up if we wanted to. I do not want to. It's cold in this room, Ollie. It's cold.
Yeah,
sometimes. So if you want to go and subscribe to the YouTube channel, we upload daily on there now. So tomorrow, where the upload on YouTube will be last Friday's episode, and this episode you're listening to now will be up a week later on YouTube. So if you want to see it early, then go to Patreon, and like I say, you get ad-free podcasts. Also, we've got a merch store. You can go and check that out. Email us at thedailyconspiracypodcast@gmail.com. We are the Daily Con Pod on all of the social medias that we're on. The videos always get uploaded to Rumble as well whenever that seems to sort itself out. So you can watch us on Rumble too. I think, did I ham fist my way through that? I'm not good at selling stuff.
No, you're absolutely fine, mate. Yeah, just guys, the things that really do help us is those 5-star reviews, and just like Billy is massive on Apple. We know you. We've got those Apple listeners out there. We saw you, how many we had when it went down, which is more than we thought we had actually, because our show didn't upload to Apple over 2 days for some strange reason. We have no idea why, but that's fixed now. So we see how many we've got, and it doesn't match the 5-star reviews. So if you could go give us a 5-star review if you're listening, because we fucking love you, and I'm sure you love us. Well, I think you do. Either that or you're just torturing yourself.
I don't care. As long as we get your ears, I don't care if you enjoy us. Just stick around. Yeah? See you later.
Bye-bye. Oh, by the way, Elon Musk has just tweeted out a picture of Donald Trump's penis.
I don't think that's true, is it?
No, I just wanted you to end the podcast there, just to leave the suspense so people went and looked.
What? So we're leaving our...
On a lie, yes.
Yes. Great.
He spoilt it.
Well, I'm gonna end the podcast on a truth. You're a twat.
From Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Why are you a conspiracy theorist? And I said, why isn't everybody a goddamn conspiracy theorist?
This is the real research. Literally have an alien base, and they are literally communicating.
I don't have a whole lot of time.
Have you personally had any experience with interdimensional beings?
What we're thinking of as aliens, they have infiltrated a lot of aspects of military intelligence. And they are not what they claimed to be.
We leave you much that is undone.
That's one small step for man.
There are great ideas undiscovered.
Visit asteroids, visit the moon of Mars.
Remove one of truth's protective layers.
There's a monolith.
They want the major population centers wiped out.
Will you put your left hand on the Bible and swear to God that you walked on the moon?
One giant leap for mankind.
Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened.
Those challenges are yours.
We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society.
There are places to go beyond belief. Beyond belief.